Well, the impact of COVID-19 has hit global economies hard, and with that, governments, business and investors have had to pivot fast. Michael Mgwaba, who's head of ETP Business at Markets ABSA CIB, joins us now ahead of this year's Pension Funds and Alternative Investment Africa conference with his take on the current landscape. Thanks so much, Michael, for joining us this evening. While we are starting to see some optimism filter through on the back of the COVID-19 vaccine rollouts, economies starting to open up again, and data points also pointing to growth and recovery, many are maintaining that there's going to be no such thing as business as usual in the post-pandemic world. What are some of the trends you're seeing driving investment returns from here on out?
Thanks for having me. I think some of the trends that I'm seeing driving the returns are things like successful rollouts of the vaccine. So I think that is actually key for every country to make sure that they're able to recapacitate themselves in order to take the current economic condition and be ready to do the business with the rest of the world. Things like gold is something that to watch. Though gold has done very well last year, it may do very well this year as well. We need to look at things like commodity super cycle. There's been a big talk about that. The possibility of sovereign debt crisis coming back. We've heard what Warren Buffett have said last week, that it may is warning the market that those who are invested in fixed income may see a big future. And also in things like interest rates. I mean, we've seen a big bond sale of last week, which could be interpreted as investors are believing that maybe central banks may not be keeping the promise of its low interest rates. Of course, I mean, things like free African trade area, it's something that is big that we need to look out for as well. I mean, it can be a very big game changer for African trade.
So that the overarching trend and a theme that's at play. With that in mind then, where are you seeing some of the investment opportunities capable of delivering returns on investment that would be enticing for investors right now?
Okay, so of course, I mean, to achieve a positive return, it makes sense to look at global equities, as African markets are not deep enough and generally lack viable alternative investment. So we need to look at things like oil, very well. We look at things like copper and other commodities. And we must also pay attention to things like palladium and platinum, given that we're expecting the global market to recover. And again, I would also like to highlight the fact that, I mean, we've got this African trade. And it may actually, if implemented very well, it will boost African markets and open more investment opportunities.
Of course, markets work in swings and roundabouts, Michael, and there will always be cycles. Do you think that, product or portfolio diversification has become more so a focus for investors right now, so that timing of the markets becomes less of a chase and managing the quality of one's portfolio more so?
Yeah, so basically, I mean, the benefits of diversification is well understood, and it's always a challenge to find the best or the effective diversifier. So many asset classes tend to be highly correlated as the market uncertainty rises and volatility gain momentum. So, if you're looking at what's happening recently, you find that, the 60-40 portfolio is no longer giving the benefit that investors are expecting to see, i.e. diversifying the portfolio. So I think investors need to start looking at something like alternative investment. And within alternative investment, gold has proven to be the most effective diversifier. It tends to be negatively correlated with other asset class, i.e. equities and fixed income. So, and also under normal circumstances, it improves the risk-adjusted return of the portfolio. And it can also help with some challenges around liquidity issues on the fund as well.
Absolutely. Well, let's leave it there, Michael. Thanks so much for having joined us on the line this evening. That, of course, Michael Mgwaba, who's head of ETP Business at Markets ABSA CIB.